The American South is struggling under a true wild hog epidemic. Herds of feral pigs tearing through crops, pushing deep into neighborhoods, and spreading fear among local families. As the situation grew critical, the volunteer hunting team led by Thomas moved out immediately. In the early morning light, hands tightened around legally licensed firearms, and in their eyes was a shared resolve. This hunt wasn't about thrill or excitement. It was a mission to protect the community and save the last harvest of the year. This terrain was rougher than anything we had faced. Thick brush, jagged rocks, and every step sinking deeper into nature's challenge. Wild hogs are notoriously clever, and they hid so well I almost believed none were here at all. Luckily, our four-legged partner picked up the scent. Within moments, the dogs flushed the hog out of hiding. A thunderous shot echoed through the forest. That massive body hitting the ground marked our first victory in the fight to stop these destructive beasts. That first win was a powerful reminder, and it pushed us forward to track down the next threat. Following the faint signs left behind, we moved with caution. Then, the wind shifted. The hog instantly sensed something was wrong, and the chase turned brutal. But no one in the team wavered. Thomas quickly reorganized, repositioning us to keep a safe distance while using the changing wind to our advantage. There! One well-timed squeeze of the trigger, perfectly dialed for long range. This clean shot showcased the team's skill, grit, and unshakable determination to protect the fields. We continued sweeping every corner, my eyes locked on every movement, never letting my guard slip. Not long after, I caught a strong scent, and the dogs were closing in fast. Come on, I'm ready for you. A dark shape appeared, and the shot cut through the chaos. In that moment of confusion and noise, calm judgment and nerves of steel made all the difference. The team kept moving, searching for new targets. But this time, I chose to stay put, locking myself into a perfect ambush point ahead of the trail. There it is. There's no escaping the jaws of death from here. How would you score that shot? But remember, if you're not a trained hunter, don't try what we do out here. Elsewhere, Thomas himself stood as a solid wall guarding one of the most hog-prone entry points. Each shot he fired was a firm warning. Any intruder stepping in here had better be ready to face the guardian of this land. Peace here now carried Thomas's mark of protection. As the day wore down, the searches and chases slowly calmed. But just before sundown, the dogs signaled again, the sound we'd been waiting for all afternoon. Weapons ready, we sliced through the trees to cut off the hog's escape. "Finish it!" a teammate shouted from the left. A near point-blank shot sealed the final victory. With that, we secured the harvest and restored peace for the local families, proving once again the courage, skill, and relentless determination of the team in some of the toughest hunting conditions imaginable. Deep in the woods, through danger and challenge, Thomas's team proved that true hunter's instincts, combined with teamwork, can safeguard this land. We hunt strictly under US laws and with respect for wildlife management. This holiday, I invited my friends to visit my grandparents. Initially, we planned to stay for just a few days, but upon hearing about a serious issue in the village, we immediately put our relaxation plans aside. My grandmother sadly shared that for the past few months, wild boars had been wreaking havoc on the farm, trampling the cornfields and even threatening the livestock. "If we don't do something, we'll lose the harvest," she said, her voice filled with concern. We couldn't just sit idly by. With our hunting experience, our group decided to turn this visit into a true adventure. Our goal wasn't just to help my grandparents protect their hard-earned crops, but also to experience a night in the wild, a place where every step, every sound challenges the courage of a young hunter. Temporarily bidding farewell to my grandparents, we set out early in the morning, heading towards the nearby forest with the hopes of bringing home many trophies by the end of the day. The snow had blanketed the ground, and the harsh weather posed an additional challenge. But with our resolve to protect the village, we pressed on without hesitation. From the top of a high hill, I spotted our first prey. A wild boar was trudging heavily through the thick snow. I raised my rifle, carefully aimed, and fired. Boom! The boar collapsed, lying motionless in the snow. A smooth start to the hunt. Despite the brutal weather, it fueled the energy and determination of our team for the rest of the day's adventure. We silently followed the trail of the wild boars until they emerged at the edge of the forest. Without hesitation, I made my way toward a small hill, raised my rifle, and aimed at the lead boar. I pulled the trigger. The gunshot shattered the stillness of the air, the bullet striking its target. The herd panicked, screeching and scattering in all directions. One boar collapsed, causing the others to desperately flee for their lives. Jack quickly pursued. He finished off a wounded boar that was still struggling, preventing it from causing any more damage. At this time of year, the weather is very unpredictable. In the morning, the snow begins to melt, but by the afternoon, the sky darkens and the sun fades away. The air turns cold and harsh, yet this doesn't affect us much. We continued our relentless hunt for the wild boars. Just as expected, the next target appeared before me. The boar was burrowed in the snow. All right, I carefully observed my target. I raised my rifle, squeezed the trigger. Boom! The boar fell swiftly. That was a harsh warning to any creature thinking of threatening the village. Meanwhile, not far off, Jack's skilled hunting dogs had discovered the hiding spot of another wild boar. They quickly surrounded it, leaving no escape route. Upon receiving the signal, the whole team moved swiftly toward the location. I kept my eyes fixed on the boar, which was hiding behind a dry branch. I waited for it to move into the perfect position, and then I would fire. Bang! The moment had arrived. With a single shot, I brought it down on the cold, snowy ground. And just like that, we had another trophy to bring back to my grandparents. The snow had started to fall, making movement through the forest even more difficult. So, we decided to move out to the edge of the woods. There was a road there, and while the snow wasn't as thick, it still posed a significant challenge for us. Walking along the path, I kept a careful eye out. From a distance, I could already hear the faint sound of wild boar footsteps. A dark figure suddenly appeared, crossing the road. I loaded a round into the rifle, steadying my aim. I pulled the trigger. The first shot didn't bring it down, so without hesitation, I squeezed the trigger again. This time, the shot was true, and the boar collapsed right there on the cold, snowy ground. That marked the end of today's hunting trip. On the other side, Jack had also spotted a target. A wild boar was slowly moving, rooting through the snow in search of any leftover food. It was completely unaware of the danger lurking nearby. Jack quietly moved closer, each step deliberate and careful to avoid making a sound. Once in the perfect position, he raised his rifle, holding his breath. He calculated the boar's movements and squeezed the trigger. Boom! The bullet sliced through the air, striking its mark. The boar collapsed. It seemed like an easy shot, but it required the calm and experience of a seasoned hunter. One small mistake and the boar could escape, posing a threat to the village. The sky was getting darker, and the snow had started to fall more heavily. We were forced to leave the forest and head back home. I knew my grandparents were waiting for us, and we didn't want to worry them. The boars we had caught were enough for today. Our plans for a relaxing break were canceled, but we all felt a sense of satisfaction for contributing to the peace of the village. I decided to stay a few more days to deal with the wild boar threat. The hunt wasn't over yet, and we were ready to set out again at any moment. Stay tuned to see how we continue to protect the land and stop the destruction caused by the wild boars in the coming days.
Every morning when my mother wakes up, the first thing she sees isn't the lush green of hope, but the shattered rice paddies, churned up and broken stalks scattered everywhere. We couldn't just sit back, so my brothers in the village and I decided to take action. Could we stop these savage beasts? The answer would come at sunset. Before setting out, the team gathered to strategize. We laid out the plan. Tom and I would take a position on the hillside to get a clear vantage point and control the high ground. John would hide at the foot of the mountain. Two others would work alongside the hunting dogs, ready to drive the herd toward the ambush point. Early morning, mist still hung low across the mountainside. Tom and I silently kept watch on the hillside, eyes sharp, tracking every movement below. Suddenly, the bushes rustled gently, and a wild boar as massive as a boulder lumbered out. My heart clenched, finger tightening on the trigger. The shot rang out. The prey collapsed to the ground. That moment marked the opening of a long battle. Keen observation from afar and lightning-fast reflexes are what make a hunter's success. I breathed a quiet sigh of relief, but deep down, I knew the real challenge was only just beginning. The peace didn't last long before the hunting dog's barks echoed through the mountains. Tom and I immediately knew they were driving prey straight toward us. Both of us gripped our weapons tighter. As soon as the wild boar appeared, there was no hesitation. The shot rang out. Quick and decisive. The enemy was stopped in its tracks within seconds. On this hunt, alongside me were steadfast teammates and loyal, battle-hardened dogs. It made me feel stronger, more grounded than ever. The sweep continued. More dark shapes fell on the hillside. The survivors panicked, rushing down the slope in desperate bids to escape. But they didn't know John, our final line of defense, was already waiting below. His gun smoothly tracked the fleeing beast before the trigger was pulled. BM, another threat wiped out as the prey collapsed. All these skills etched into our very bones aren't for show. They're what allow us to stand as the strongest shield for our homeland today. As evening fell, a signal came in from the lookout post. A wild boar was wandering near the forest edge. We moved in immediately. Just as its shadow appeared, sensing danger, it darted desperately up the hillside, trying to escape. We focused intensely, held our breath, fingers lightly on the trigger, then bang. The bullet struck true, pinning the prey to the ground. This area was quiet for now. We pulled back to regroup, preparing our gear for tomorrow, heading toward the nearby Red Clay Hills, where the locals are also struggling against a rampaging herd. The next morning, we loaded up and headed straight to the spot. The scorching sun burned down, but it couldn't ignite the team's spirit. Sticking to the same strategy, I became the group's eyes, taking the highest vantage point with the mission to clear any threats from afar. Holding my breath, I locked the hairy beast firmly into my sights. A smooth but decisive squeeze of the trigger, and the creature dropped instantly. In that moment, pride surged through me. Every shot wasn't just skill, but a responsibility to protect the peace of the fields thirsting for a bountiful harvest. The fallen beasts left behind stood as proof of a long, productive day. As dusk settled and we prepared to withdraw, we spotted an entire herd of wild boars slowly making their way up the hill. Without a word, the team silently spread out to encircle them. The shot thundered, piercing through the thick hide of the boar, and once again, silence fell, with the creature lying still. Every time I pull the trigger, I don't see myself as just a hunter, but as a soldier fighting for the community. Sunset blanketed the ancient forest as we loaded our full haul into the Jeep Wrangler and headed home. Red clay stained our clothes, but everyone's heart was light. I grabbed my iPhone 16 to call my mother with the good news. The battle isn't over yet, but I believe that when people stand united, no beast can destroy the crops of our home.
The Taurus Mountains rise with unforgiving terrain, sheer cliffs, and vast untamed forests. In this raw, primal wilderness, wild boars don't just survive, they thrive. Deep within the dense cover, they move with stealth and cunning, masters of evasion, born of generations hardened by nature's fury. Here, the hunt is no mere sport. It's a brutal battleground, the unforgiving landscape, the elusive prey. This is where only the most patient, most relentless hunters earn their place. Join us and let the hunt begin. Arriving at the designated hunting zone, we moved swiftly into position, eyes scanning the terrain, senses razor sharp. Then, movement! Across the clearing, a wild boar broke cover, making a dash for the underbrush. I seized the moment. One shot rang out. The bullet flew true. The beast dropped instantly. A clean kill. The first mark of victory, setting the tone for the high-stakes hunt that lay ahead. Moments later, from high up in a tree, my teammate delivered a stunning long-range shot, dropping another target with precision. I couldn't help but wonder, what kind of shooting technique does he use? And you, what's your style? A signal from my teammate, the sound we've been waiting for. The herd is coming. Without hesitation, I rush forward, heart pounding, boots slicing through brush. Reaching the spot, I drop into position, adjust my scope, and steady my breath, waiting for the target to break cover. And there they are. From the undergrowth, a pack of wild boars emerges, slow, deliberate. The lead boar steps forward, solid and confident. One shot cracks through the silence. Swift, lethal, the beast collapses. But the echoes haven't faded. Another shot rings out, another target drops. The rest of the herd scatters, turning on a dime, vanishing into the forest, fast and smart, using every shadow to their advantage. The hunt just got real. Every second now is a test of nerves, of instinct, of survival. After locking in the direction of their movement, I quickly radioed John to move in for the blockade. Silence fell over us, every hunter poised, ready for the moment that would decide everything. The bird appeared, charging down from above with fierce speed. Shots rang out in rapid succession, relentless, keeping pace with their desperate run. The thunder of gunfire echoed through the mountains, a wild symphony of a ruthless chase. Within minutes, several boars went down, ending a swift and brutal counterattack. Continuing the hunt, we moved down the slope, right where the boars were expected to appear. Every step was hurried, urgent. One slip, 1 second too slow, and the prey would vanish like it never existed. And the damage if they got away? Unimaginable. Suddenly, the herd burst out, astonishing in sheer numbers, charging forward in unison. A rapid volley of gunfire erupted, mixing with clouds of dust, to paint a scene thick with tension and adrenaline. Amid the chaos, a few went down, clear signs of a fierce chase, where grit, speed, and deadly precision were pushed to the limit. Thick tangled brush grew densely together, seemingly the perfect hideout, shielding the wild boars from every sharp eye. But they forgot one silent yet powerful predator, the hunting dogs. With their keen noses and instincts honed by countless hunts, they easily tracked the unmistakable scent left by the boars. The moment the target appeared, the shot rang out. No chance for escape. The boar fell right where it thought it was safe. Moreover, coordinating with the pack of hunting dogs to encircle, intercept, and block the targets is the result of relentless training. It's not just strategy, it's a seamless bond between man and beast, forged through an ancient instinct to chase and conquer. At the same time, my teammates took down several more targets, bringing this challenging hunt to a victorious close. Hunting in a licensed area not only ensures legal safety, but also plays a vital role in managing and conserving wildlife populations. Don't forget, always follow the rules, respect nature, and hunt responsibly. Riding back in the 2025 Ranger, loaded with trophies, smiles were wide and proud. We're happy knowing we protected this season's harvest, easing the farmers' worries, and keeping this land peaceful from the... Millions of wild boars are rampaging across Spain, causing damage worth millions of euros each year. With their numbers now soaring past 2 million, these beasts aren't just a threat, they're an enemy that must be faced head-on. This time, Kevin and his team are heading deep into the dense forests of Madrid, where every step could mean danger. This isn't just a hunt, it's a true battle for survival. Out here, it's not simply hunter versus prey. It's a test of grit, instinct, and raw determination. Will they rise to the challenge? Or will the wild boars continue to rule the woods? Stay tuned, the real hunt begins now. By 5 a.m., with the cold morning mist still clinging to every leaf and branch, Kevin's team pushed into the Madrid forest, fully prepped and ready. As they stepped into the designated zone, all eyes sharpened, scanning every shadow with tense focus. Just minutes in, Kevin's gaze swept across the trees ahead, then locked in. There it was, a lone wild boar wandering slowly through the brush. The moment had come. Without hesitation, Kevin steadied his aim. A single shot rang out, clean and precise. The beast dropped instantly, never saw it coming. A strong start to the day's hunt, and a warning shot from whoever else lurks deeper in the woods. Kevin's team pushed deeper into the forest. High-tech binoculars came out fast, locking onto any possible movement. It didn't take long. Within minutes, a shape moved stealthily beneath the thick canopy. Hidden well, but not well enough. The target was spotted. Every move was executed with expert precision, measured down to the last millimeter. Smooth, efficient, deadly. Though this boar wasn't the biggest, the clean takedown marked another proud notch on the team's record. Every shot counts when you're out here proving your worth. At the same time, Jay remained silent, locked in position at his ambush point. Suddenly, a wild boar emerged, foraging calmly beneath the foliage, completely unaware of the danger closing in. In a split second, the silence was broken. A single shot rang out. The bullet struck true, dropping the target instantly. No struggle, no second chance. It was a flawless shot. No warning. No room for retaliation, just one less threat in the forest. Barely had the team caught their breath when a signal came in from the fields below. Wild boars spotted. Without hesitation, the team mobilized fast. moving into position and forming a tight formation to block every possible escape route. As they reached the edge of the field, a full herd was already charging back toward their den. But there was no getting past Kevin. His sights were locked. A barrage of shots rang out, each one hitting its mark. One by one, the beasts fell. It was a clean sweep, a flawless assault. Swift, decisive, and final. No more destruction, no second chances. Deep in the open grasslands, a dark blur suddenly shot through the tall grass. Fast, almost too fast to follow, but not fast enough. Kevin didn't hesitate. One sharp movement, one clean shot, and it was over. Every step, every motion was flawless. No hesitation, no mistakes. Now, let us ask you this. Were you impressed by that shot? Do you think the boar might have had a chance? If it had been just a little faster? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think. The sunlight was fading, and the team began making their way back to the rally point. But just as the hunt seemed to be over, Jay spotted movement, a wild boar hiding deep in the grasslands. No hesitation, he adjusted his aim, locked in through the scope. A single shot cracked through the evening air, and with it, the chase ended. One more threat eliminated. And for now at least, the field returned to its rightful silence. The deep forest drain had become the main gathering spot for a pack of aggressive wild boars. They weren't just raiding the fields. Last night, they charged into the pens, causing serious damage. As representatives of our village, we had to act immediately. Rifles loaded, we moved into the drain where visibility was limited and escape routes blocked. The target appeared, and the hunt began, quickly spiraling beyond control. Immediately, our team sought the perfect hiding spots. We set up ambush positions along the marked points in our plan, tracing the edges of the trench. At the tensest moment, a wild boar burst out from the dense forest into the trench. I was ready, waiting, giving it no time to react. The rifle barked decisively, and the boar dropped instantly. The immediate danger was eliminated, but the life or death struggle had only just begun. The shot had alerted the rest of the herd. As soon as the smoke cleared, my teammate Jack struck from another ambush point, taking down a boar trying to escape. Quick, precise. The whole action lasted just 2 seconds. Seeing that ambush tactics were no longer effective, thanks to the boar's heightened alertness, the team switched strategies. Hunting dogs were released immediately. The pressured boar had nowhere to run. I waited, pulled the trigger, and dropped it instantly. We then moved swiftly toward the treacherous cliffside. As expected, a massive target was hiding there. I quickly ranged, braced the rifle, and fired decisively. Down it went. The team pressed on, leaving smaller boars to the dogs. This dispersal tactic kept the hunt fast and effective in this brutal pursuit. Using sweep tactics, the dogs excelled at encircling the boar's main den. "They're boxed in! Hold your positions!" I whispered. The boars, sensing danger, emerged and immediately walked into the trap. That was all I needed, but this wasn't an easy shot. I lined it up perfectly, fired, and ended it with a single round. Done. Jack exhaled beside me. After the den, the dogs found new targets. Barking echoed from afar, signaling boars hiding in a muddy drainage. Without hesitation, we moved in. Using the terrain to our advantage, we took precise shots, putting an end to their reign over the area. The day's final target revealed itself. The hounds barked in unison. Jack ranged it, and this would be the last shot of the hunt. Decisive. One clean hit, and the threat was gone. Silence returned. The danger of the deep forest drain had been eliminated, at least for now.